Hey everybody, it's LaMont Wheat at Lake August Gardens, and today I will be planting some Casablanca lilies. I did a video of last year about a variety of bulbs that you can plant, and one was Casablanca lilies. I will share a link to that video here so that you can check it out, but today I'm going to be getting some of these bulbs in the ground. Some noise, it's the neighbors having their slab for their house putting in, so you might hear that. But I'm going to be planting these Casablancas today over by the lake, and it's going to be under a crepe myrtle. So I have a real beautiful fuchsia crepe myrtle. There's actually two of them, and I'm going to be planting in this area. Here's my bulbs. I'm going to be planting 10 Casablanca lilies. This is one of the first areas I planted. So I have two crepe myrtles. There's one here and another there. And then I put in some allium bulbs kind of along the back, but they stopped about right here. Indian hawthorns. So you'll see here there's there's about 7 Indian hawthorns here, but a couple of different varieties. So just behind the Indian hawthorns, I'm going to put in these lilies, and you'll see that as they bloom, it should be a really nice display. Those crepe myrtles should really jump this year. In the back, there is a crab apple tree here, which also has kind of a pink fuchsia color. And then in the early spring and in the summer, there is the crepe myrtles, and then we'll have the white Casablanca lilies. So Casablanca lilies really do enjoy 6 to 8 hours of full sun. They like to be planted about 4 to 6 inches deep. They don't like to be sitting in water, so well-drained soil is really important. And you want to make sure that you, when you cut them back after they bloom, that you don't cut back more than a third, because they will use their leaves to create energy to feed the bulbs for next year. So I'm just going to prep the area behind me to get them ready to plant. And we'll get them in the ground. This is 10 Casablanca lily bulbs. So what I'm doing to prepare the area is just breaking the soil up a little bit. I'm also removing any unwanted weeds and roots. There is a native grass that I've been eradicating over time out of the beds. This bed does slope a little bit towards the lake, so I've been building it up with compost and wood chips, and I will be adding in other amendments to help the bulbs get a good start. I had to go and get some of that compost out of that compost pile. Okay, look at that. Nice, rich. I'll be adding this to the bed. So what I've done is there was some grass in here that I was waiting until this crepe myrtle went dormant to take out, because if I disturb the roots, I'd rather for it to be not in its growing season. So I was able to clear some of that grass out. I am creating a ledge along the back, so I've just been berming it right along the back edge. And I'll cover that with some leaves and stuff so it breaks down, and then I'm going to put a rock border along the back. But you can see that it's a little shallow, so I'm going to add in some compost to amend the soil a bit, and then I'm going to also put in some blood meal and some bone meal, which will help with the roots. The blood meal will help with just nitrogen and making the plant really nice, green, and healthy. So then I'll put in the bulbs here after I put in the amendments. What I may also do is go ahead and prune this crepe myrtle up. I want to take out some of the trunks. When the freeze happened last year, it actually caused it to push out all these multiple trunks because the main trunks died. So I'm going to trim this, thin this back out to about 3 to 5 trunks, maybe 5 to 7 in case we get another one of those crazy storms. And then that'll be, it'll send all the energy through those trunks, and it should get taller. Okay. Because my crepe myrtles were really impacted by the storm of 2021, they froze back to the ground and kind of started over. I'm going to be adding these amendments in just to give it an additional boost for the 2022 growing season. All right, that's looking lovely. So as you can see, I used a drill to get all of my holes dug. I did amend the soil with some compost, also bone meal and blood meal to stimulate roots and also for vigor. And so now I'm just going to drop the bulbs in these holes, cover them over, water, and we should be good. I did put 3 in the back. That way when we're out in the lake, we swim there in the summer and have different events. We'll get some color from that side. This crepe myrtle is flanked by 2 coreopsis, and they're purple and they get huge. So this coreopsis will fill in this space and this coreopsis will fill in this space. So I didn't put the bulbs too close to those. You can see I didn't put them directly beside, but I did put them in front of the crepe myrtle, behind the crepe myrtle, but not in the way of the coreopsis, which will fill in the space. So what I'm doing here is just placing these bulbs in the hole. I take my gloves off because I love touching the soil, so and just making sure we get the right side up, so you want the roots to be down. Also be aware that if you see roots sprouting on your bulbs, you can go ahead and plant them. They could push up prematurely and you won't have the best bloom the first year, but allow them to grow in your garden. They will send energy into the bulbs and you'll have a better performance the following year. I want to show you, I just took this out and you can see this bulb is already sprouting. So we may get them sprouting up, maybe we won't, but we'll see. But I can't wait to see how they perform in this area. We certainly have given them everything that they need to be successful. So let's see what happens. The front of this bed has a juga, which is a variegated ajuga, which I'll talk about in another video. And also in the summer, there is some lantana here that will come up. So should be a really nice layering effect. Now that those bulbs are planted, let's clean up these crepe myrtles. It's important to prune your crepe myrtles each season, especially in their initial growth phase, so that you can develop the trunks that you'd like to have on the tree. It should be beautiful. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean this one up as well. So I do have 2 of these fuchsia crepe myrtles. I'll get the exact name for these and share them, but I'm going to go ahead and trim this one up too. All right, everyone, so we got the crepe myrtle trees pruned up and they are ready to go for the growing season 2022. These are some fun things that you guys can be doing in your garden this time of year. We're in winter, getting bulbs in the ground, getting some of your heartwoods pruned up for the new growing season, and just taking advantage of those warm days to prepare for spring, which we all love. So you can see I have the alliums here. These are garlic as well that should bloom in the spring. I also put in these violas from my driveway. They germinated a seed. I mixed them in with the irises. And then again, I'll be shooting a video about that variegated ajuga that I propagated from another patch in the late spring, so that you guys can see how I spread those throughout the garden. All right, everyone, so that was fun. We got everything planted. We got the crepe myrtles all cleaned up. And now I'm just gonna get everything watered in and enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one.